Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Back to betting on the fights with Fake Money episode 28, where we get rich or we have fun trying. What we did here, just for if you're new real quick, last week's fights, of course, were Fight Night Edson Lee versus Kevin Barboza, but we started this off with just $500, and we've been betting on the fights ever since then, but not actually going to Las Vegas and betting on these joints. For one, because we're broke, and for two, because we don't live in Las Vegas. We're just acting as if we weren't broke and we were living in Las Vegas, and we started off with $500 as, you know, our starting, and we're all the way up to this week, spoiler alert, over $2,000, 4 times what we started. So let's say we started off with $50,000, right? We'd be at $200,000 right now, but we started off with $500 because it's a lot more reasonable. So we're at about $2,000 after this. Now you see we started off with $1,800 to bet on last week with the fights Kevin Lee versus Edson Barboza main card and also early prelims. So we had $1,800. We bet $600, as you can see right here on the early prelims and the Fox Sports prelims. Go over those real quick. We bet $100 on Nakamura, who we picked to lose the fight, and he did. But it was a really, you know, he was a 2-to-1 underdog, and he had a chance at winning the fight. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, he did lose the fight to Tony Martin as we predicted. So we lost that $100, but it's all good because we still came up this week. Aspen Ladd versus Leslie Smith. That fight was canceled whenever Aspen Ladd missed weight. Leslie Smith refused to take the fight on short notice. There's a little bit of politics behind that as well. So we just get that $100 back. Corey Anderson, we bet $150 on. He won. Sayar Bahadurzada, he also won his fight. We bet $150 there. And Ryan LaFleur also won his fight. So all of our predictions were correct, but we bet $100 on Nakamura, so that bet wasn't off. But we were right on all the predictions. If we would have parlayed that, hey, I'm about to start learning about parlays and shit. All I'm saying, fuck with your boy. But for right now, we're keeping it simple. The 3 fights that ended up happening that we bet on, these were all correct. So we won money on these, which I'll show you, but also we bet on the main card. So we also bet Jim Miller versus Dan Hooker. I made a mistake there, but you live or you learn, or you win or you learn. We lost this bet, but I learned a valuable lesson that's going to pay off this week. You will see. So we bet $200 on Jim Miller, who we predicted to win the fight. There was multiple reasons we predicted him to win the fight. For me, this fight was like a toss-up, and just because Jim Miller was such a big underdog and more UFC experience, one of the highest level opponents Dan Hooker had fought to date, I picked him to edge it out, but really close. I'm not surprised at all Dan Hooker won. I mean, even after watching the fight, not surprised he was this big of an underdog. But going into the fight, I heard a little bit something I didn't know. Someone said, did you know like Jim Miller had Lyme disease? Like they said, I don't understand how you're picking him. I don't know much about Lyme disease, and I also didn't know Jim Miller had it. But at the same time, I know he's a veteran. Dan Hooker's a guy with legit knockout power, as we saw in the fight. So yeah, that was a bad bet. You could say hindsight's 20/20. So we definitely lost that bet there. Aljamain Sterling, that was a great bet. I mean, I felt like he was going to be the most undefeated. This was one of my more confident picks coming into this week, but at the same time, Aljamain Sterling was coming off a pretty nasty knockout, if you recall, and Brett Johns was undefeated, so I played it careful, bet $200 on Aljamain Sterling, ended up winning that bet. And then we bet one more with Kevin Lee, of course, $100 on Kevin Lee with 54 cents just to make things pretty. So we ended up winning on those 2 bets, which we will see here. The payout for all of these bets, after we ended up betting on all of the fights, we had $717 left, and that's if everything went bad. If we lost every single bet, we would have still had $717 for UFC 224. But of course, everything did not go bad, and we lost the money we bet on Nakamura, the $100. We got our $100 back on the, that we bet on Aspen Ladd because the fight didn't happen, so you just get refunded. But then we actually won these 3 bets and profited. So Corey Anderson, we bet $150 and we won $275. Same here, Bahadurzada, we bet $150, won $280. We bet $100 on Ryan LaFleur, I believe, and won $168. So all of that totals up with the $100 we got back. Over here you can see $824. We go up to $1,541, $1,500 plus what we won from the main card fights. So 1,541 plus the money we won from the Aljamain Sterling fight, 373 bucks, 169 off Kevin Lee. Add all of that up, that's 500 bucks. So add that to what we already had. And then of course we don't get anything from the Jim Miller fight. So we're at $2,085 total to bet on UFC 224. And we are going balls deep. I'm telling you, on the Fight Pass prelims and stuff, there's some good bets, I feel like. So we're about to get into the bets for UFC 224, also the early prelims and the Fight Pass prelims. But of course, you're going to check those out on Patreon for free. If you're a patron, you can check those out right now. But if you are not a patron, if you can't afford it or whatever, just check it out a few days later and you can check it out over there for free to see who we're betting on this week. Or you can wait till next week and just see how it went. With that being said though, let's continue to UFC 224 and the bets we're placing with this $2,085 that we have. So thanks for checking this out. Let's continue. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.